Hey everybody, welcome back into Maggie's Kitchen. And in case you didn't know, Maggie is my grandma name. I don't know why I started using that on my cooking videos, but I just did a long time ago when I started the YouTube channel, and it's just always stuck. And it kind of weirds some people out. I have a couple people that were just really embarrassed thinking they were calling me the wrong name when they saw the video, thinking, oh my gosh, I've been calling you Dana and your name's Maggie. So anyway, I just thought I would clarify that for anybody who doesn't know. But let's get to it. Today we are doing Thai ground pork, or you could do ground chicken. Probably do ground beef. I bet it'd be pretty good. I've just never tried it. But anyway, pork is my go-to. That's what we're going to do today. But like I said, you can substitute out. Ground chicken's good. I'm just not a huge ground chicken fan, but whatever you want to do. Your kitchen, your rules. So, very simple, quick. I mean, quick to come together. If you've got your meat thawed out, I've got a pound of local ground pork. So we're going to use that. You start out and cook your some of your some of your seasonings in some oil and garlic. So what I'm going to do is I've got some garlic infused oil that I made. We've talked about this before. When I roasted some garlic in avocado oil, I put extra oil in, so when the garlic was finished roasting, I would have this, and it is unbelievable. The smell and the taste, so good. So instead of using the oil or the lard and the garlic, I'm going to use the garlic oil. So just, that's what I'm doing. And then here's another little, not really substitution, but different ingredient. It calls for ginger. Typically I use dried ground ginger. Sometimes I'll use some dehydrated ginger I've done, but today I'm going to use ginger juice, if you can see that. It is literally like you have apple juice, grape juice, orange juice, ginger juice. Not something you want to drink, but it is fantastic to cook with. And it's 1 for 1. So this recipe is a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of the ginger juice. It's wonderful. Then we've got our trusty trilogy. If you don't have trilogy made, you can just slice up, do some slices of onions. Kind of gives it a little bit different look. It's not going to taste any different, but whatever. And then fish sauce. We've talked about this on different recipes. A fantastic ingredient to have. It smells to high heaven. It's fermented fish heads and fish bones and stuff. It is a very old Asian condiment that just gives a very deep, rich umami flavor. It's super good. I mean, when you eat something Asian, and if you know about fish sauce, you'll be like, yep, there's fish sauce in that. But it's not a bad thing. It just gives it a really super rich flavor. If you don't have this handy and you want to make this, don't sweat it. You can use a mix of chicken stock and Worcestershire sauce. That substitutes pretty dang well. This is still the best, but that'll work. And then we've got aminos, you know me, and my half and half coconut secret, coconut aminos and liquid aminos. We're going to do some of that. And then a little bit of hot sauce, and I have kind of a crummy Christmas hot sauce. It's really good flavor, but it's not exactly the cleanest product in the world. And then green onions. And as you've seen in the past, I am rehydrating some dehydrated green onions that I have. So that's pretty much it. I mean, this gets thrown together. The flavor is fantastic. When you serve it, squeeze you some lime on it, or if you have good quality organic lime juice, not the limes in the little green plastic ball things or whatever, or bottles. That's not really lime juice. But this is super good. And then put a little cilantro, some fresh cilantro on. It's awesome. I like to throw a little avocado on there just because I like avocado on everything. I'm going to serve mine on rice noodles. I love these rice noodles anytime. Well, not anytime, but most of the time when I do an Asian type dish, that's what I want it on. Sometimes I use my Lotus rice ramen, which is a really good, clean quality ramen. So anywho, as you see, I've had to turn my camera around. The sun will pierce your eyeballs out, but I'm going to get everything flipped around over the stove. We're going to get busy. Okay, y'all are truly gonna freak at how simple this is. I know I say that so much, but this is probably gonna rank up there as the quickest, simplest recipe. So we're gonna you would put a couple tablespoons of lard and a couple teaspoons of minced garlic. So I'm just gonna use a couple of tablespoons of my garlic infused oil that smells amazing. So super, super simple. Again, you'd scoop the lard in, let it melt a little bit, throw your minced garlic in there. That's all you would need to do. Now, I'll turn the heat on and then add, if you use this ginger juice, and look, y'all, it says May of 2023. Whatever. It doesn't go bad, y'all. It doesn't. It's just as gingery, tangy, yummy smelling as ever. Ooh, and I don't have the right measures. So we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of either ground ginger, or in this case, I'm using my ginger juice. And then we're going to throw in a 1/4 cup of trilogy, or like I mentioned, if you don't have any trilogy made, you can always just cut an onion in little slivers, a small onion, and it gives it a different look. So a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. So I'm going to be lazy and not dirty another utensil, and I'm just going to do 4 tablespoons. But that is a 1/4 cup. I'm all about less dirty dishes. Okay, so now we're going to cook this until the onions are kind of translucent and they just get soft. You know, just a few minutes. I'd say 2 or 3 minutes. You'll let this cook on a medium-high heat. And then from here, we'll add in our ground pork. I'm going to go ahead and cut my package open. I don't usually leave y'all sitting here watching a pot cook, but this smells good already. I mean, onion, garlic, ginger, dang. Yes, thank you. I think I will. So I'll pause so y'all don't watch this for, like I said, it'll probably go about 3 minutes. And we'll be right back. Okay, so that's looking good. Now we're going to add our pork. I just cut the package open. Get this out of there. Don't want to leave any in the package. And then we're going to break it up. You just want to kind of get it down to, ground pork. And I had just taken mine out to thaw a few hours ago, so it's just a tiny bit still set in the middle, but not enough to matter. That's another thing, y'all. I just decided a few hours ago I was going to cook this for supper tonight, and I thought, ooh, I'll make a video. If you don't have ground meat, thaws out super fast, whether it's chicken, beef, pork, whatever. You could drop that, that's called a chub. That's what these things are called, into the little round tubes, your chub of meat. You can drop it into a Ziploc bag and then put it in a sink full of hot water, and it thaws super fast. So that's another great little, oh shoot, I didn't take anything out for supper trick that you can do. And you get down to this little center part, and in the heat of the skillet, it'll thaw and break up pretty dang quickly. All right, so we just want to kind of stir this around. Make sure all your onions and, the garlic and everything's mixed in. And we're going to let it cook about 3 minutes or so until it's about halfway done. And then add these other ingredients we talked about. So I'll pause again so you don't listen to stirring and meat popping. And we'll come right back in a couple minutes. Okay, so our meat's about halfway done. If you can see in the camera very well, there's still some pretty good pink in there. And that's one thing, if you're like, oh, I'm not sure what halfway done is. I would always err on the side of undercooked, because you can always cook it a little longer. But once you get it overcooked or cooked all the way through, you're done. It's cooked all the way through. So anyway, so now we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients. One thing I didn't mention a minute ago when I was kind of running through them is a couple teaspoons of sugar. And I'm using coconut sugar, as I always do. So there's 2 teaspoons of coconut sugar. And then now we've got our 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. Or again, if you don't have fish sauce, you can do a mixture of Worcestershire sauce, or however you pronounce that. Different people say it different ways. And chicken stock. And that makes a really good substitution for fish sauce. All right, so we get that in there, and then we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of water. I already had that measured up. You know, that's real hard. Oh, man, it smells so good. And now we're going to do a tablespoon of liquid aminos, and I always do half and half, as you know, you've heard this ad nauseum. And if you use coconut aminos, you want to really shake it up because it really settles in the bottom. So I'm just going to take my tablespoon and eyeball there we go. So there's our tablespoon of liquid aminos. And then we want a couple teaspoons of hot sauce. And y'all, we're about done. I mean, this is almost all there is to it. Stir this up and let it just simmer a teeny bit until all the flavors are mixed together, and it's done. I mean, literally. It ain't much to look at right now. I'll tell you that much. But, oh, it's so tasty. And when you get ready to serve it, and I'll come back and show a picture when it's on the plate, we'll have the green onions added in there. So I'm going to let this cook just, again, 2 or 3 minutes. Let all the flavors come together. And then I'll drain my green onion, throw them in there. Cilantro will go at the very last, actually, when I plate it. And then that's it. I'm going to throw some lime juice on there and put it over that, my favorite rice noodles. And then we're good to go. You can always throw some vegetables in here. I actually have a little bit of frozen broccoli, like a piece of a bag. I may throw in here. Just, I don't know, give it a little color, give it something extra. But you could throw some slices of bell pepper. I would do those up front with the oil and the garlic, ginger, and trilogy. You could put some zucchini sticks. That would be fantastic. Cut some chunks of zucchini, kind of like they do in an Asian restaurant. Put that in there. I would do that at this point because you don't want it cooked to mush. I'm going to put the frozen broccoli in here and just nestle it down in all this and put a lid on it and let the steam and the heat from the juices and the meat cook that broccoli. Just basically kind of steam that broccoli. But that's it, y'all. That is Thai ground pork. It is yummy. It's really good over rice if you like rice. Especially if you do a fried rice. Ooh, I love me some fried rice. But anyway, there we go. I'm going to throw the broccoli in here. I might come back and give y'all another little peek. And then I'll slap a picture on at the end when I plate it up. But that's all there is to it. Super fast. Everybody loves it. And lots of nutrition here. So y'all give it a shot. Okay, so I've got some broccoli just nestled in here. I'll tell you one thing I did. When I pulled it out of the freezer, I thought, okay, I want this to be, doesn't have to be 100% thawed, but not just icy frozen. So I threw it in a colander and just ran some hot water over it. And now I'm just going to put a lid on my pot, and it's just going to sit here until we are ready to eat dinner. And the steam and the heat from the pork will steam that broccoli, and it'll be ready to rock. So I'll show you one last pic when I plate this, but there you go. Thai ground pork or chicken, or maybe beef if you want to give that a shot. Super easy, super tasty, super nutritious, and I think you'll like it, so give it a shot.